So I get on the dating app and I end up matching with someone. We didn't even talk on the phone. We just set up a time to meet the next day. I should have talked to him on the phone because the moment that I met up with him, the very next day, he was gay. What's up? It's Johanna with God is Deliverance. We learn how to live our best lives through Jesus Christ. And today, we are not only going to be talking about praying over our husbands and our future husbands, we're also going to be talking about praying the really uncomfortable prayers as well. So I'm not sure if you realize this or not, but the enemy is after marriages, not even kingdom marriages, but worldly marriages as well. We see throughout the world, especially in Hollywood, celebrities are getting divorced left and right. So many people are having problems within their marriage. And if you are a single woman and you think that the enemy is not after your marriage, think again. The Bible tells us in John chapter 10, verse 10, that the enemy's main goal is to steal, kill, and destroy. The devil absolutely hates kingdom marriages. And if you think that all you need to do is just sit back and wait on the Lord, yeah, that's a good start. But the Bible also tells us that faith without works is dead. You also need to be praying those really dangerous and uncomfortable prayers because there's a very real demonic force that is either out here to delay your kingdom marriage or prevent it from happening altogether. So I want to talk about the really uncomfortable prayers that we can pray. Yeah, it's nice to pray that your husband's a God-fearing man and that he's a godly leader and he's a great husband and a great role model. Yeah, those are great prayers, but have you prayed the really uncomfortable prayers? Have you prayed against the spirit of homosexuality? Have you prayed against the spirit of polygamy? Have you prayed against the spirit of lust around your marriage and your future marriage? Or are you just praying those cute prayers that, oh God, I pray that he's attractive. I pray that he's handsome. I pray that he's a leader in Bible study. Yeah, those are all cute and all, but you really got to go deep because there's a very real satanic force that is seeking to steal, kill, and destroy your kingdom marriage. So without further ado, let's talk about the top 3 very uncomfortable prayers that you should be praying over your husband or your future husband. Let's get started. All right, so the first uncomfortable prayer that you should be praying over your husband or future husband is that they have a desire to be married or to stay married, because there's a very real devil that is glamorizing singleness. There's a very real devil that is making men believe that the moment they get married, that life is over. And this is a very demonic and false theology, because the Bible tells us that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The enemy knows that as soon as a man gets married, that it's automatically going to bring favor to his life, that it's automatically going to build up the kingdom of God, because there is a godly order that God can often work through. And the devil doesn't want men to get married, so he will try to throw every single thing in his face that makes him believe that everything else is more glamorous than getting married. And this is a demonic lie. So if you are a woman who is married or single, I encourage you that you continue to pray this prayer over your husband or your future husband. So I was hanging out with my guy friend a few weeks ago, and we were just talking, and he looks at me and he's like, Hannah, I know you're supposed to be my wife. You know this, I know this. I know you're supposed to be my wife. And I just looked at him like, okay, well, you gonna do something about it? Like, I'm not here to convince you. And the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of men who God is speaking to, telling them, hey, this girl is your wife, this woman's your wife, and they are being disobedient because they rather follow after the things of this world rather than to man up and to become that leader that they need to be in order to become married, because they know that the moment they become married, they automatically become accountable. They automatically have to become accountable. They automatically have to have someone that they answer to. No, it's not the woman that they have to answer to, but they know that they automatically have to be held accountable to God. And a lot of men don't necessarily want that kind of responsibility because they aren't ready for it, or they don't believe that they're ready for it. And I just want to encourage you as a single woman or a woman in general that you need to continuously pray that, Lord, I pray that my husband or my future husband has a desire to be married or to stay married. I come against every satanic operation that may be trying to lure him back into singleness. I come against every demonic attack that may be causing him to believe that being single is more glamorous than being married. Lord, I pray that you continuously give my husband or future husband a heart to be a husband and to be a father and to be a godly leader, because there's a very real satanic operation that's happening all throughout this world that is trying to get your husband or your future husband to stay single, and you really, really need to pray against that. So if you are a woman, I really encourage you to get a little uncomfortable and pray this prayer. Lord, I pray that you continuously give my husband or my future husband the heart and the desire to be married. Number 2, a really, really uncomfortable prayer that you should be praying over your future husband and over your marriage is against the spirit of homosexuality. Ladies, I hate to break it to you, but the spirit of homosexuality is getting stronger and stronger. And if you are a wise woman, I would really, really advise you to pray against this demonic spirit of homosexuality over your husband and over your marriage, because there's a very real devil that is trying to lure men into the spirit of homosexuality. And if you think that you may be immune to it, you need to think again, because as the Bible says that the enemy walks around like a roaring lion looking to see who he can devour. And if you are not praying over your husband and over your future husband and over your marriage, then there is an enemy that is constantly looking to attack. So although this may be so uncomfortable to pray, I really, really would advise you women to pray against the spirit of lust over your husband and over your marriage. So I typically tell y'all stories, and I love telling y'all stories, but there is an embarrassing story that I feel like I should share. So every now and then, whenever I get bored, or if I can be honest, a little lonely sometimes I get on a dating app to be like, let's see what else is out there. But God has been telling me to stay off the dating apps. He told me time and time again, very clearly, that my future husband is not on a dating app. And one day I just did not listen, and I was feeling hopeful, and I was like, well, maybe I can meet someone on this dating app. So I get on the dating app and I end up matching with someone, and immediately we connect, and we didn't even talk on the phone. We just set up a time to meet the next day. We were going to meet up to get smoothies, and I should have talked to him on the phone, because the moment that I met up with him the very next day, he was gay. He was full-blown gay. The way that he walked, the way that he talked, his entire demeanor, it mirrored that of a gay man. And the entire date, I was just sitting like traumatized. Needless to say, I never talked to him again. But after that date, God was like, if you don't listen to me, if you don't allow me to guide your love life, I'm going to send you on more dates with gay men. And from that, I was like, all right, Lord, I wash my hands. I'm going to just sit back, and I'm going to just let you run the show. But I just want to encourage you that there are a lot of gay men who were still on the down low trying to date women. And it is our responsibility as wives and future wives to pray against the spirit of lust over your marriage and over your husband or future husband, because the enemy is trying to pull a lot of these men into the spirit of homosexuality. The enemy knows that there are so many godly men and godly women who can be birthed through kingdom marriages, and one of the best ways in which he can destroy that possibility is to lead men into the desire of being attracted to other men. And yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's important to pray that prayer, because once you claim authority over that thing, it has no choice but to flee. The Bible tells us that whatever we bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever we loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So it's important to speak these things over your marriage and over your husband and future husband, so that they will not come to pass, because you have already targeted it in the spiritual realm. And last but not least, a really uncomfortable prayer that you should be praying over your husband or future husband is against the spirit of polygamy. I don't know about you, but that spirit of polygamy is on the rise like never before. You see Nick Cannon with his 12 children and his 6 baby mamas. We see Elon Musk with his 11 children and his 3 baby mamas. A lot of men are beginning to glamorize the idea of being with multiple women, and this is not God's design. A lot of people may think, oh, well, polygamy was in the Bible. Yeah, in the Old Testament, we see a lot of polygamy within the Bible, but it always led to someone else's destruction. Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. All his wives turned his heart away from God, and it led to his destruction. Jacob ended up marrying 2 sisters, Rachel and Leah, and it ended up in this big family feud, and it caused a ton of chaos and destruction. Abraham had a polygamous relationship with Sarah and Hagar, and again, it turned into a ton of resentment and also led to destruction. David had multiple wives as well, and he got into this really, really terrible situation by sleeping with another man's wife and ended up killing this woman's husband. So I just want to encourage you, yeah, polygamy may have been in the Bible, but God is clear that because of sexual immorality, every man should be assigned to his own wife, and every woman should be assigned to her own husband. When God created the world and when Adam got lonely and he needed a helpmate, God didn't give him a bunch of women. He gave him one woman, and her name was Eve. And we just need to understand that although the world may be glamorizing polygamy, it is not God's desire. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2, that because of sexual immorality, every man should have his own wife, and every wife should have her own husband. The Bible is clear that God's way is one man with one woman and one woman with one man, and it is not God's desire for us to pursue polygamy. So I want to encourage you as a woman, as a single woman, to pray against the spirit of polygamy over your future husband, over your marriage, because there's a very real devil and demonic power and demonic force that is trying to get men to believe that sleeping with multiple women is more glamorous than being with one woman, and that is a complete lie as well. But other than that, these are my top 3 dangerous and uncomfortable prayers that you should be praying over your husband or future husband in your marriage. Let me know if you think that I should do a part 2, or if you have any other ideas of what we should be praying over when it comes to our future husband, our husbands, and our marriage. Also, if you are a Christian woman who desires to grow closer to God and get connected with the Christian community, then be sure to join my Glam Fam. You can join by clicking the link below. We have prayer calls, Bible studies, masterclasses, everything that you need in order to grow closer to God. But other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Stay glamorous.